Hi guys, and welcome to Creative Cakes by Sharon. Today's video is part of a super cute Shopkins collaboration with some of my YouTube friends to show you guys how to bring to life some of these adorable Shopkins characters in the form of edible treats. I'll be showing you how to make a giant size version of the super cute D'lish donut. So let's get started. I've already baked one of my super moist chocolate cakes, cut it into 2 layers and cut a hole out from the center. Now I'm going to pop it on my cake board and add some pink whipped chocolate ganache filling to the center of the cake, pop the top layer back on and shave off just the very edge of the cake so that it's got a nice rounded edge. Then give the cake a nice crumb coat before popping it in the fridge for about 10 minutes to set. Now that the crumb coat has set, I can add another layer of the whipped chocolate ganache to the cake. I'm using whipped ganache because it's so light and fluffy in texture and kids absolutely love it. To get my ganache nice and smooth, I'm going to heat up my spatula in some hot water, wipe off the excess moisture and glide it over the ganache, and in no time at all I'm left with a nice smooth surface to start decorating on. Before I cover the top of my cake, I'm going to cover the inside of my hole first. Make sure to brush on a little bit of water first so that the fondant will stick to the cake. Then using a small rectangular piece of fondant which I've wrapped around my rolling pin, I'm going to unroll it on the inside of the hole. Here I've rolled out the rest of the off-white fondant and brushed the cake with a little bit of water, and once I've covered the cake and smoothed out the fondant, I'm going to use a small circle cutter to carefully cut out this center piece of fondant. Make sure to tuck the fondant in really well at the bottom of the cake, and you might find that using a small spatula or butter knife will help you to tuck the fondant in nicely. Now to add D'lish Donut's bright pink icing, I've rolled out some bright pink fondant and I need to cut a nice wavy pattern around the edge and carefully lift it up and place it over the cake. The palms of your hand come in really handy now to smooth the fondant over the sides of the donut, and once again the little circle cutter helps to cut out the center. I added some detail to the whole of the donut by using the back of the paintbrush to create some little creases in the fondant. For her little eyes, I cut out a black circle and a smaller circle of blue fondant. Then I used a straw to remove a tiny little circle from the blue fondant before sticking these 2 pieces together. Then using the same larger circle cutter, I cut out a little crescent shape from some white fondant, which I stuck carefully around the blue part of the eye. To finish it off, I used the straw again to cut out a small black circle which I popped into the middle of the blue fondant. I created the eyes this way instead of layering each colour of fondant on top of the other so that the cake remained as flat as possible without having her eyes poke out too much. Finally, I made 3 little eyelashes, and once I was happy that everything was in place, I stuck them down with a little dab of water. To make her lips, I just formed a small piece of pink fondant, and you can once again use the end of a paintbrush to help create the little creases on the lips, and pop a tiny round ball of fondant on the cake for her nose. The arms and legs were made by cutting out some equal pieces of fondant and shaping them into little stumps for the arms and little round domes for shoes. I used my straw to imprint a little pattern on the bottom of the shoes to make them look nice and pretty. To position them on the cake, I simply inserted some toothpicks into the cake and slid each piece of fondant on. Now finally I added some blue sprinkles onto D'lish Donut. I cut some tiny strips of blue fondant as well as some tiny little hearts using a small heart plunge cutter. At this stage my Shopkins D'lish Donut is all finished, but really a donut has to have that nice glossy icing appearance. So using a small handheld steamer, we can watch how she magically transforms into an incredibly cute and extremely tempting cake version of Shopkins D'lish Donut. Guys, I hope you enjoyed my Shopkins D'lish Donut Cake version of this super cute and tiny toy. Please give it a big thumbs up if you did, and make sure you share it with your friends. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can see all my creative cakes as I release them. I also have on screen now for you some of my other recent Shopkins videos which you can check out if you've missed them. Now guys, here are the other gorgeous Shopkins edible creations that my friends have come up with. They're too adorable not to check out, so make sure you click on the screen now for the playlist so you can watch them all. I've also put the links to each individual video below in the description box for you. Guys, I hope you tune in next time, and as always, thanks for watching.